Hey everyone, I took 3 trades today and lost money. So I'll show you the P&L right off the bat. I took very small positions because I didn't see anything that really captured my conviction. On Intel, I made $139, so almost nothing at all. Amazon, I made 207, and then I lost 800 on Microsoft. So for a grand total of a loss of $493. So let me show you what I did. So this is the Intel trade, and I took this right at the beginning of the day. So literally, this is 6:34 in the morning. I'm on the West Coast, so that's right after the market opened. I took my first position here. I knew it would probably consolidate. So this shaded area is the closing range, not of yesterday, but of like the day before, maybe 2 days ago. I'm not sure. But this is resistance. And I put these on my chart every single day. And as soon as it got below it, I wanted to be in that trade on the short side. So it's very difficult for me to take a long trade when the security has gapped up. And all these chip semiconductor names gapped up today. It's very difficult for me. I have a really hard time. I know they can go much higher than the gap, but it's just very difficult for me to take the trade. So I took this short and added in a little bit through this consolidation, and then I scaled out into this sell-off. I was expecting it to get to previous day high, which is this green line, yesterday's high price, and it never got there. But more importantly, I didn't see this for what it was, because this ended up being the best trade of the day, long trade. This and AMD, both of them were great trades, and I'll show you that at the end. But I just didn't have the clarity of thought to see it for what it was, and it's because it gapped up. So I just wasn't looking for it, and so I didn't see it. So in any case, that's the Intel trade. Again, I made almost nothing. Then Amazon was a very, very similar trade. Let me see here. So here's where I took the Amazon trade. Again, they were overlapping. I had them at the same time, and I'll show you that. So this is where I took it short in this range here, and then I scaled out into this sell-off. And like I said, I made a couple $100. Really nothing to be impressed about. And then the last trade was really a disaster. And this keeps happening to me, and I don't know how to handle it. I need to do something to stop what's happening. So the 8-day, the 8D, this is the 8-day exponential moving average is pointing up. And at the time when I took this trade, which was right in here, it was a bullish chart. And it looked like it was going to go through the closing range of yesterday and then continue on its merry way. That was what my hope was. I shouldn't have taken it. But the more important thing is I held on to it I held on to it all day, expecting it to, because if you look at the higher time frame, this is still basically a bullish setup. I think this stock will end up going higher, perhaps tomorrow. I was expecting it today, but it just started cratering. So this down here, I thought this might be the bottom, but it ended up being an ABC. So this is the A, this is the B leg here, and then C came all the way down here. And then it didn't hit this body low. So these moves are very specific. They go to the body low. And when it didn't get there, it just missed it by a touch. That's a tell that says that it might go much lower before it goes higher. And here we are at the end of the day, and it is indeed breaking down lower. So, nothing's guaranteed in the market, but when something should happen and it doesn't, it's usually a tell. So anyway, I held it all day. I literally sat in front of my computer for 6 hours watching this thing, waiting for it to go up. Here, it could have gone up. I had a chance to have a profit here, but I thought it was the beginning. The ABC, that's a corrective pattern. So when you see an ABC, generally speaking, the move is over. And so I was expecting this to continue going, and of course it didn't. And then it came back down. There's all sorts of technical patterns that happened in here, like this is an ABC, and then it came down a third time, and that's generally a tell that it's going to go lower, because coming down twice like this is common, but coming down 3 times generally means that the pattern is broken. And then I did finally get a little bit of a rally, and I did scale into this, and you can see that it came right up to this previous high and just wicked above it, and then it went down from there. So I scaled out mostly in this area, but it wasn't enough to recoup my losses. And so, like I said, I lost $839 on that trade. So a total P&L for the day of minus 493. Here are all of my fills. So you'll see at the beginning of the day, I scaled into Intel and Amazon overlapping each other. So this is me getting into the position, buying puts. And then here is when I scaled out. So, I was doing well at this point of the day, but this is where I got into the Microsoft trade. And you can see, I paid, 362, 386. I paid as much as 402, 412, and then it just went down, down, down. So at one point it was worth, I think it was worth less than $2. So, or maybe $2.20. So it's indefensible what I did. And so here I scaled out a little bit, but it wasn't enough to fix the trade. So I have to figure out how to avoid these situations. And it's, of course it's easy to say, like, just take the loss. That's what stop losses are for. And I do understand that, but at the same time, like I put a lot of stock into understanding what the security wants to do. It's trying to form a daily candle. And what's that daily candle going to look like, and how is it going to form that candle? And so that's why, I have a narrative that I follow. When I see these patterns, I'm like, okay, this is still a bullish setup. This is still a bearish setup. And so I hang on to it. And the bad news, frankly, is that many times it works. And so I get rewarded for doing that. And that's a huge problem because I have to figure out a way to not have these trades. Now, the main thing is this closing range of yesterday. So the rule of thumb that I had been following, and again, I didn't follow it today, is that in order to be bullish, it has to be above the closing range. And if you're going to be bullish below, that's a problem because you're below resistance. And so then the question becomes, well, what do you do with the Intel where it started out, in this closing range, but this wasn't yesterday's closing range. It was like a day or two earlier. So what do you do in that case? Well, I still feel like this is a major support and resistance area. I took a short trade here. That's fine. But what I should have done is taken this exact same trade on the long side once it got on the other side of this closing range. And I'll show you how this played out. I mean, this is a beautiful chart here. Beautiful bullish move, starting with a gap, came down, basically retested previous day high, which is, close to as important as the closing range, in my opinion. I actually put more confidence in the closing range, but previous day high is a major support level. It didn't quite get there, but it got close. And then look at AMD. This is another, I didn't have the clarity of thought to see it for what it was. So here it opened, peaked out above the closing range of a day or two ago, came back down, had a roughly symmetrical extension below as it did above, which is standard, and it touched previous day high. This is a beautiful trade. I should have taken this trade on the long side. And look what it ended up doing. It came back up, came down, consolidated. I could have purchased in through here. I could have purchased here as it was testing the top of the closing range. There's a whole bunch of different ways I could have taken this trade, and I just didn't see it. And the truth is, I didn't even realize what I was looking at until much later in the day when I had already gotten mired in the Microsoft trade. So, these are lessons learned. I'm trying to get better at this, but it's very, very difficult. And today was incredibly frustrating. So, relatively small loss, but it's just the execution and the rules that I have to develop for myself. Anyway, appreciate you watching. If you have comments or anything, please put them in the comments below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again tomorrow.